Throughout history, military intelligence sections within the U.S. Army had been created during wartime, only to be disassembled during peacetime. However, the United States' involvement in World War I would be the catalyst that creates a permanent military intelligence division. As World War I erupts in Europe in 1914, there's growing concerns of German agents and saboteurs living inside the United States.
There were German spies in the U.S. during the war. While we were a neutral country, we weren't even at war with them, but they were conducting activities that were warlike.
To combat the concerns of German espionage, the U.S. Army creates the Military Intelligence Division, which initially has very few resources.
In 1915, we find that military intelligence is little more than an unmanned committee within the War College Division. They're still doing a lot of collecting. Reports are coming in from the field, from attachés, but really there's not much in the way of analysis going on, not much dissemination of intelligence. And this is where Ralph Van Diemen enters the picture.
Major Ralph Van Diemen has one of the more impressive resumes in terms of experience in intelligence work in the United States Army. He had served on the intelligence staffs both in Washington, D.C. and Manila. He had done undercover work in China, and he was even the General Staff's mapping chief.
Ralph Van Diemen, known today as the father of American military intelligence, begins building intelligence operations for the U.S. Army with a department that only includes 2 officers, 2 clerks, and himself.
Van Diemen is going to organize his intelligence operations along 2 lines: positive intelligence and negative intelligence. Positive intelligence is that information that you gather about the enemy. Negative intelligence is protecting your information from the enemy's collection.
Major Van Diemen's first steps in building the Military Intelligence Division on the home front was the creation of the Corps of Interpreters, which adds linguistic capabilities to the MID, and the creation of the Code and Ciphers Bureau in 1917.
This bureau has the responsibilities to both create codes and then to break other people's codes. Now, to do that, you got to have the codes to break. And so Van Diemen is going to start setting out collection sites.
He does establish some intercept stations, radio intelligence stations along the Mexican border and along the eastern seaboard.
These listening sites also include a long-distance intercept site in Holton, Maine, which will monitor German diplomatic and agent communications. The Radio Intelligence Service is officially added to the Military Intelligence Division in June 1918. With limited resources and manpower, Van Diemen takes advantage of the intelligence being gathered by the American Protective League.
The American Protective League was an organization formed in 1917 to act as a guardian against spies, to make people aware of spies and potential saboteurs.
After a 1916 explosion that rocks the munitions storage at Black Tom Island in New York Harbor, the Code and Ciphers Bureau cracks the code on an encrypted letter found sewn into the sleeve of a German spy named Lothar Witzke, which connects him to the blast. Van Diemen's successes on the home front catch the attention of General Pershing's intelligence chief overseas.
General Nolan is looking specifically for counterintelligence people, and he asks Van Diemen to see what he can do. And Van Diemen creates this Corps of Intelligence Police. It's made up almost entirely of NCOs, or non-commissioned officers.
The Corps of Intelligence Police serves an integral role in investigating espionage and subversion targeting American troops overseas, and eventually becomes the Counterintelligence Corps, serving all over the world.
With the collection of the Corps of Intelligence Police, for the first time the Army recognizes that there's kind of a special skill set that intelligence personnel might need.
Having grown the Military Intelligence Division to include over 1,600 service members over the course of World War I, and witnessing military intelligence in action, both at home and abroad, Ralph Van Diemen spends the next 55 years of his life working tirelessly to convince the Army that intelligence needs to become a career service. His life work pays off in 1962 with the creation of the Army Intelligence and Security Branch, later renamed the MI Branch in 1965. the work of Major Van Diemen in creating the Military Intelligence Division of the U.S. Army and General Nolan expanding that effort to the CIP in Europe is still evident to this day.
We like to consider World War I actually a watershed for military intelligence for a number of reasons. One of which is the creation of this Military Intelligence Division at the War Department level. After World War I, it's recognized that military intelligence has a place on the general staff in planning and mobilization. That's very, very important for the future of military intelligence.